In the high mountains of southern Africa, where the rivers are born from stone and rain, people have long believed that water remembers the stories of the land. For generations, rivers have been places of cleansing, not only for the body, but for the spirit. Traditional medicine in southern Africa teaches that nature is alive with balance. Mountains hold strength, plants hold medicine, and rivers carry away what no longer serves us. For generations, healers and seekers have traveled to places where nature is strongest. Mountain rivers, sacred springs, and hidden waterfalls. For many people, waterfalls are places of cleansing, places where the rushing water carries away sorrow, fatigue, and spiritual heaviness. In many parts of Africa, rivers that flow from mountainous regions are considered places of natural purity. Their source, high above human settlement, gives them a cultural and spiritual significance that has been recognized for generations. Fed by rainfall, surface runoff, and underground springs that emerge from beneath the rock, their source contributes to a long-standing belief in their natural purity. Across different communities, water plays a role in practices of cleansing and renewal. These practices are not identical, but they share common ideas about balance, health, and connection to the environment. Mountain river cleansing is often carried out during periods of transition, after illness, before major life events, or during times of emotional or spiritual difficulty. Mountain river cleansing symbolizes the washing away of stagnant energy, restoring balance and harmony with nature's healing flow. In the quiet rhythm of these rituals, stories are carried in every ripple, connecting past and present in a timeless flow. Mountain river cleansing stands as a powerful testament to Africa's rich heritage of traditional medicine, where healing is holistic, rooted in the land, and sustained by belief. As the modern world moves forward, these sacred practices endure, reminding us that true wellness lies in harmony with nature, culture, and spirit. There is a place in northern Zimbabwe, hidden beneath quiet woodland and ancient earth, where the ground suddenly opens into darkness. From above, it appears as nothing more than a scar across a gently rolling landscape. A landscape shaped by time, resting on the ancient Zimbabwean high-veld plateau. Here, within a protected wilderness of savanna woodland, where muwambo trees form a dense, cathedral-like canopy that shelters the shadowed, rugged ground below. For thousands of years, nature worked in silence. Slightly acidic rainwater seeped into the earth, dissolving layers of dolomite and limestone rock. Patiently, relentlessly, it carved hidden voids, tunnels, chambers, and caverns in a process known as karst formation. What was once solid ground became hollow, and then the earth gave way. The roof of an underground cavern collapsed, opening a vast vertical shaft, a gateway into a concealed world below. Inside, the main cavern rises with steep rock walls, enclosing a space that feels both monumental and sacred, and at its heart lies water, still, silent, mesmerizing. A deep blue pool, so clear it defies perception. This is the sleeping pool. Its striking turquoise color is not magic, but light bending, reflecting through mineral-rich water of extraordinary clarity. Beneath the surface, the depth plunges beyond 90 meters, making it one of the deepest inland diving sites on the African continent. Divers who have descended into the depths describe a surreal experience, descending through an endless blue column where sunlight fades into darkness. The water remains cool and still, preserving the mystery of passages that extend far beyond what has yet been explored. But long before science explained these formations, people understood something else entirely. They knew this was not just landscape, it was presence. The pool was once called Chirorodziva, the pool of the fallen, a name shaped by memory and loss. According to local history, the name is derived from a tragic event during late 19th century conflicts, when people seeking refuge in the caves were killed. This history gave the site a powerful cultural meaning, linking the waters to memory, loss, and ancestral presence. This place where history, spirituality, and natural wonder meet is the legendary Chinhoyi Caves. To some, they are simply a geological marvel, but to many traditional healers and elders, these caves are a sacred gateway, where water, ancestors, and the spirit world converge. For generations, the surrounding communities understood that this place was sacred. The caves were believed to be inhabited by powerful spirits connected to the ancestors. For centuries, they have served as a site for rainmaking ceremonies and ancestral communication, led by traditional custodians and spirit mediums. Today, the caves remain a place where history, landscape, and belief intersect, offering a rare insight into the enduring relationship between people, environment, and traditional medicine.
My name is Herim Lauzi. I grew up in Bulawayo, on Popoma there. I come from a traditional family. My father was a traditional healer. The father to my mother was also a traditional healer. To an extent, it's a family of traditional healers. From my mother's side, it was a line of traditional healers. From my father's side, it's also a line of traditional healers. So when it came to us, traditional healing was something that we simply easily moved into, or a traditional life. But it took me a bit of a while to accept it, because I went to school, I did my work, I got my qualifications, but during that time, I wasn't really concentrating on what was supposed to be done. So later on, the spirit manifests in itself. You start to see certain things in your life that now I need to accept this. So due to that, I started to accept my history and started to follow up on our history. We are people who use sacred oils from ancient time that had been left from I don't know how many generations back, to help others chase away evil spirits and help people in life. Lumene is a shrine, a holy shrine, according to African culture. It's been a shrine for years and years, hundreds of years. We found it there. Our ancestors were going there. So it is a sacred site where what others would term as ritual cleansing or spiritual cleansing takes place. Our forefathers used to go there to cleanse their spirit or to cleanse themselves of certain things that were happening in their lives. So when we journeyed to Lumene, in English we would put it as a pilgrim. We had a pilgrimage to Lumene.
A mountain river cleansing ritual typically begins at dawn. This timing is culturally significant, as early morning is seen as a moment of renewal, when the environment is calm and undisturbed. According to tradition, this is not the dawn of any ordinary day, but the chosen dawn, when the sky opens without resistance and the air carries no discord. It is a time when the boundary between the living and the ancestral world feels thinnest, when water, stone, and breath align. The journey to Lumene begins in Bulawayo, Zimbabwe's second largest city, a place steeped in history, culture, and resilience. Bulawayo itself carries a layered past, its name echoing histories of kingdoms, colonial encounters, and the enduring resilience of its people. The city has known both grandeur and fracture, yet beneath it all, Bulawayo remains a place of grounding, where the old ways persist quietly, beneath the pulse of modern Zimbabwe. Today, Bulawayo is known for its cultural depth, serving as a gateway to the Matobo Hills and the spiritual landscapes beyond. At the heart of this journey to Lumene Falls, less than 2 hours beyond Bulawayo, moves a small group of herbalists, guided by Philip, whose presence carries the calm authority of one who knows both the land and the stories it keeps. Beyond his role as a herbalist and traditional medicine expert, Philip is a gobela, a senior healer and mentor entrusted with guiding apprentices and preserving the wisdom, discipline, and traditions of generations.
We left here. When along the way, we were continuously asking and telling the spiritual, our ancestors and the guardians of Lumene that were coming there. Because in African culture, you must always tell them before you do something. Ask for a good way.
Before the path to Lumene is taken, there is a moment to ask that it be opened. In African traditional systems, it is understood that every journey carries both visible and unseen pathways. Led by Philip, they call upon the ancestors.
We have brought your children, Dlamini, Mpofu, Mlauzi. We ask for the way. We ask that you open it for us. We did not come to test you. We came to ask that you make the way pure. May the way open. Protect us from evil.
The words are directed at those who walked before, who know the land, who guard its thresholds, asking for permission, for protection, for clarity of purpose. This is not ritual for its own sake. It is acknowledgement that the road to Lumene is more than distance, and that safe passage is not only measured in steps, but in harmony with what cannot be seen. In the town of Chinhoyi, in northern Zimbabwe, everyday life moves to a familiar rhythm, set against a landscape shaped by history. Located just 7 kilometers from the town center, the Chinhoyi Caves offer a quiet departure, carrying you from the pulse of daily life into a realm where time seems suspended and where the physical world gives way to the spiritual. But to understand the spirit of this place, one must first understand Chinhoyi itself. Once known as Sinoya during colonial rule, this town holds a profound place in Zimbabwe's history. It was here in 1966 that the first major armed engagement of the liberation struggle took place. 7 young fighters, now remembered as the Chinhoyi 7, stood against overwhelming odds in what became a defining moment of resistance. Their courage ignited a movement that would eventually lead to Zimbabwe's independence. Their story is not just one of war, but of sacrifice, ancestral calling, and the deep connection between land and spirit. And then there are the caves. Known locally as a sacred site, the Chinhoyi Caves are not merely geological formations, they are portals. The main cavern, with its striking blue pool, often called the sleeping pool, is believed to be bottomless, a gateway into the spiritual realm. But beyond their beauty lies their true significance. For generations, these caves have been a center for rainmaking ceremonies, rituals deeply rooted in indigenous knowledge systems and traditional medicine. In times of drought, when the land cracks and the skies remain silent, spiritual leaders, known as Masvikero, alongside local traditionalists, gather here. These are not performances, they are sacred processes, guided by ancestral spirits.
My name is Joanna Magea. The work that I do is to sing praises to the ancestors. That's what we do. We do this at cultural ceremonies. We are tasked with doing this, to sing praises to the ancestors. From the time I was born, this is what has always been done in my family. So we are very knowledgeable in doing that. Brewing traditional beer, praising the ancestors. We begin by praising the lion spirit. They are the first ones. And then the ancestors from your lineage. And then you acknowledge the different types of ancestors, and also the water spirits. And so we ask from all of these. Growing up, we were told stories about the caves until we got to enter the caves. In the past, there would be belongings and sleeping mats of those who resided there. But nowadays, you will not find this, because what's being done these days is we do not follow our Shona traditions and culture anymore. We used to ask for rain. Elderly women were responsible for this. Those women who no longer had their monthly cycles, they are the ones who would pray and ask for rain. Traditional beer was brewed, offerings were made, and we would ask for rain. But today, this is no longer being done. There are many churches around, and we do not follow our old ways. Our rain does not fall like it used to. During the times of asking for rain, they would look for elderly men and elderly women who were past their monthly cycles, and they would call the kings. It went on over 2 weeks, with traditional beer being brewed. And on the last day, the people would go to the caves to spend the whole night there, dancing and beating drums, asking for rain. That is what was done in the past. Today it is not being done. There are many churches around, and the rain does not fall like it used to.
At the heart of the ritual is the calling of ancestral spirits, believed to reside within or beyond the cave waters. The process is deliberate: invocation of lineage spirits, presentation of offerings, spiritual possession or trance states, direct communication and requests for rain. It is believed that if the ancestors are pleased, the rains will come. And many say they do.
We thank you for bringing us to this point where we have conquered all that is ahead of us. We thank you for guiding us till now. We ask that you guide us to our destination, you who keep time, you who intercede to the Creator of the heavens and the earth. We ask that you guide us and help our own, and may the path we are on be the path that we travel, so that we walk in truth and in your ways.
Lumene is in such a way that where you stop, you have to pass through the river to get to the waterfall. The passing through the river, we passed through the river, we crossed the river 3 times. It's one river meandering, but we crossed it 3 times.
The journey begins as a disciplined ritual process, where each river crossing and stretch of mountain terrain is approached as part of the cleansing preparation before the ascent up towards Lumene Falls. At the first crossing point along the river, the group stops briefly beside the fast-moving water. Philip asks the ancestors for guidance and safe passage, observing a tradition carried through generations. As the Gobela, Philip takes the lead, guiding the group through the various crossings and overseeing each stage as part of the cleansing process according to tradition. Using a commonly used method of navigating fast-flowing water, the group moves carefully through the current, each step deliberate, each movement controlled. According to tradition, the river cleansing has already begun. The repeated crossings through the fast-moving water are understood as part of a process of purification, washing away spiritual and physical impediments before the ascent up the mountain. Between crossings, steady rain settles over the mountain path, keeping the terrain wet and slippery underfoot. The walking becomes part of the ritual, with every crossing, every stretch of wet ground, and every careful step along the mountain path. The outside world begins to fall away, leaving the group fully immersed in the purpose of the cleansing journey ahead.
By crossing that river, it's a significance of cleansing our journey. Because cleansing feet, it's like Christianity, Jesus washed their feet. Feet symbolize journey, the movement. So we had came from this side with our issues. We are now at Lumene. We are going to be washed at the site. So we need to be cleansed to walk into the site. So the crossing of those rivers symbolizes that cleansing, the repetitive cleansing. You ask today, ask tomorrow, you ask again. So as Africans, it's something that has been there, we have been using for years. Not just going to holy shrines, but as Africans, you can do a cleansing at home. You can do a cleansing out in the bushes. You can do a cleansing on top of a mountain. The elements are determined by what you are cleansing in preparation for. Because we believe that before one embarks on a mission or on a certain journey, you must be clean enough and pure enough to do the journey. For us to conduct this journey, we have to ask guidance from our ancestors. And we have to continuously keep ourselves in a state where this journey accepts us. It's not me who accepts the journey. It's the journey that accepts me. Because the journey was there before me.
You realize we use bute. Second, we used rice. Now we're using impe. And first, I was the one to use bute. Second, he was the one to use rice. And now, she's the one to show us asking impe. Konapa koko. Yena le indaba. Go epa juice.
The ascent up the mountain begins in steady rhythm, each step sure despite the slick earth beneath them. Cloaked in rain and silence, they move with intention, every footfall part of a quiet preparation. Bundles of sage are held close, carried with care for the ritual ahead. There is no rush, only a deep, shared knowing. The climb itself becomes ritual, breath deepening, senses sharpening, the body aligning with the work to come. Then, faint at first, the roar of the falls begins to rise, gathering strength through the mist, calling them forward. By the time they near the river above, they are no longer just travelers but participants, ready for the cleansing the mountain will offer. Lumene Falls greets the herbalists with cascading water and cool mist as they arrive for the river cleansing.